Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third session of the day. I hope you're enjoying the event so far. My name is Alberto P. I'm the VP of Open Source Community Relations at OpenNebula. I'm going to be joined later on by my colleague Michael Abdou, the VP of Sales and Customer Success. We're going to be talking about the open source community and the partner ecosystems and over the last couple of years, since the last OpenNebula conference, as you all know. Well, just a quick review of where we come from and where we stand today. Well, as most of you already know, OpenNebula was born back in 2005 out of a successful research and innovation project that was developed at the University of Madrid, at the Complutense University of Madrid, Spain. Over the years, the technology has evolved. The company was started to support this technology and has become a self-sustainable business operation during the time. We've kept up with the innovation, as Ignacio has mentioned earlier today. We've been developing the product. We've been joining other companies and other innovation initiatives to expand OpenNebula in terms of features and the kind of integrations we've incorporated into the product. But we've also been expanding the network of partners, as Michael will explain in a second. The technology partners and the business partners we have around the open source technology, the core of the OpenNebula product. We've been having a number of events during these years, as most of you probably already know, both in Europe and also in North America. We've been establishing collaborations with several cloud service providers over the time, and we've also been working with a number of partners in kind of local community events over the time. Obviously, during the couple of years of the COVID-19 pandemic, things have changed a bit, and I'll explain that, how we've adapted in this challenging couple of years. And lately, one of the main points in this timeline that you see on the screen is obviously the One Edge project. So the research and innovation project we got from the European Commission at the end of 2019 has helped us develop that part of OpenNebula that's now the edge computing features in the product that most of you already know, or you have already tried by yourselves. And finally, well, in 2022, we are now a couple of months after the end of this One Edge project. We celebrated the One Edge Day at the end of March. Some of you already participated as speakers or attendees. And well, today we're really happy to be resuming our traditional annual OpenNebula conference, which was on hold since the end of 2019 because of the pandemic. So, well, again, welcome everyone for joining us today. Well, as I mentioned, the One Edge Day was quite a successful event, a virtual event we had a couple of months ago. Just a quick invitation for all of you to have a look at the resources we have online. There you have the web link. It was a really nice event to showcase all the different innovation and the new features that are now part of OpenNebula, and have made the product evolve from being a private cloud solution to being also a multi-cloud edge computing platform. So again, thank you to all the companies and organizations that participated on that day, showcasing how they're using these new features in OpenNebula, and an invitation for all of you to have a look at the resources that are public and online. So why edge computing? Why we've been moving, or well, why we've been expanding OpenNebula from the private cloud to the edge? Well, this is a movement that started almost 3-4 years ago, when obviously as we keep monitoring the cloud market globally, we understood and we perceived that there was a change of a paradigm, the paradigm coming. That new paradigm is edge computing. It comes with a number of challenges, and for us, it's been challenging in terms of adapting the technology from one environment, the infrastructure as a service, private cloud, to this new model, a more kind of multi-cloud technology edge computing environment in which providers can also use our technology to offer their resources, how to distribute the resources to their customers. But in the end, what we see is that it was worth doing all this. And for many of the new users and customers that we have, that they actually were needing, or they at some point during these years, they realized that what they needed was what we were actually building. That's something that applies to a number of sectors. As you see there, many sectors that now realize that they benefit from having their computing and storage capabilities as close as possible to the end users or to the devices that produce data or consume their resources and their services. Things like low latency or improving that user experience or reducing risk and all this number of benefits you see there on the screen. Also helping companies become new edge infrastructure providers as a way to offer an alternative to hyperscalers, for instance. We've seen a lot of interest in that sense from many different companies, including telecom companies, supplies and railway operators. So we'll talk about that a bit later during the day today, but also during the rest of the event. So that's why we've been investing in this transition, let's say, this expansion of OpenNebula. During this couple of years, since the last OpenNebula conference, obviously, if you've been following the news, we've been working quite hard to produce better releases with more features and incorporating all these new technologies and incorporating all these innovations that we were producing as part of this One Edge European project from OpenNebula 5.12, which was our first long-term support version. This is still in place now. Then through the OpenNebula 6.0 Mutara, 6.2 Red Square, and now finally, few weeks ago, actually, the latest OpenNebula 6.4 Archeon, which is also a long-term support version. Okay, so if you've been following the developments this couple of years, you'll know that we in mid-2020 we changed slightly the model, having the community now having a community edition and an enterprise edition, which is available for customers, only for customers with an active OpenNebula subscription. And then we keep the community edition, and at the end of its maintenance cycle, we release a new version, which is basically the same one. So we merge all the changes we've been doing to the enterprise edition during the maintenance cycle. We merge that with the community edition, and we release a new version, a new minor or major version. So again, an invitation for all of you to check out the latest version 6.4 and have a look at the new features we have in there, which are quite interesting. Some of those technologies that we've been, and new innovations and new features we've been incorporating have to do with an effort we've made during this couple of years, also from the technology side, to connect OpenNebula and its community with the broader open source community through a number of key technologies that we'd identified that were especially relevant or were going to be especially useful for our users. As you see there is the evolution of the move from the core data center, from the old OpenNebula, let's say, the traditional OpenNebula, being a solution for a private cloud on-prem data center, moving towards the public cloud with a number of drivers and connectors with public cloud providers, and also being able to expand your infrastructure to the edge, either using public edge infrastructure providers or your own private edge infrastructure or your devices. On top of that, we've been working on incorporating new hypervisor technologies, new virtualization technologies, like the integration with Firecracker. That's the technology that we'll talk about that a bit later on, tomorrow, actually, in more detail. The new micro VM technology developed by Amazon Web Services in combination with Docker Hub for OpenNebula to be able to deploy application containers directly and orchestrate these containers as Firecracker micro VMs. So that works pretty well at the edge. Obviously, the support for LXC and LXD system containers, and we'll have the LXC technical lead tomorrow from Canonical talking about the novelties in the project. And obviously, a big investment in supporting the deployment of Kubernetes clusters, both through our CNCF certified Kubernetes installer and also through the K3S virtual appliance that we have, both of them being able then to be managed later on by a Ranger instance, for instance, as some of our users do. Some of the stuff we've been doing this couple of years, as you know, we've been working on a number of different use cases with different companies and partners to test all these new features. This is just an example, things like smart agriculture, smart cities, tourism, wildfire control, 5G edge, around 16, 17 use cases with different companies in different sectors to make sure that our new technology was able to respond to the challenges and the needs of these different industries. We've kept the tech days alive, basically, mainly through thanks to our community in Barcelona, for instance. We've kept the old tech day series alive in a virtual format. And our commitment is to resume the tech days, the physical tech days, as soon as possible in the near future. So keep tuned, because we'll be announcing something pretty soon. We've also during these couple of years, we've been working on a online webinar series with major technology partners of ours and other open source technologies that we thought were especially interesting to talk with and discuss and have demonstrations together. So all those resources are online on the website. So have a look at the website and have a look at the webinar section, and you'll be able to see all these amazing presentations from colleagues from other companies and open source projects and the joint demonstrations we perform with them. And then we've made also an effort to be present in as many technology and open source events as possible. Most of them, as you know, were virtual during this couple of years. Lately, we've been in a few physical events as things start to move again in the IT sector, and physical events are starting to be organized again. So we're happy to see that, and you can expect to see us around in different physical events in the near future. This is just an example of some of the use cases we've been and the work the events in which we've been working on this couple of years, mainly exploring how to use the technology in different scenarios, things like virtual desktop infrastructure or deploying Kubernetes at the edge, and the kind of stuff that's been really cool. And it's been really useful for us for build a better technology, but also for our partners and members of the community to be able to see that these new innovation features were actually of easy application to the respective sectors. As I mentioned, we've made a big effort to be present, including MyCat. All resources, we put all the resources in this to be in as many events as possible, to be present, even if remotely, in as many events as possible during this couple of years, joining our community, getting their help in presenting OpenNebula around, but also, as I mentioned, in a number of physical events that we've been able to join and in which we've been able to participate lately. We've made an effort to be there as well. So you can expect to see more about this in the near future. We've also been, from the community side, working on a number of virtual resources and training resources for everyone in the community to keep up with the new features and new developments in the product. So if you have an example of the screencast series we've been producing this couple of years, we'll keep producing these materials for you to find out how to do some specific stuff or familiarize yourself with some of the new features in the product. I think it's worth the investment. I mean, even beyond the pandemic, let's say, we'll keep producing this because they are really useful. So we keep the pace of producing this regularly for the new major versions. Same applies to the white papers and other materials we've been producing this couple of years and updating them regularly. Things on edge computing or Kubernetes or multi-cloud model. We'll keep producing this because actually they are quite useful for our users trying to get more information and more detail on some of the specific features or applications or environments that you can create within OpenNebula Cloud. And from the commercial side, we've been also working on a number of small comparative studies, reports with some major alternatives in the market, some of them open source, some of them proprietary software, for you to be aware of the benefits of using an OpenNebula cloud instead of others. And finally, some of the work we've kept doing these couple of years, which has been an interesting exercise as well. It's been firsthand. I mean, on one hand, maintaining all the virtual appliances we have on our public marketplace, so keeping them up to date with the new versions. And this is a continuous process in which we invest part of our engineering resources, as you know, for you to be able to have all these virtual resources and the latest versions of a number of major products available on your OpenNebula cloud very easily through the public marketplace, but also incorporating new resources here that some of you have been asking us for, or that we understood were going to be useful for you in the near future. So that implies things like a number of new or emerging Linux distributions, so things like Alma Linux, and we'll have our colleagues from Alma Linux speaking today at the conference a bit later. Things like Rocket Linux, Oracle Linux, as you know, after the announcement from CentOS, this has been our response for these changes. Also, we've been incorporating, as you see, a number of virtual appliances relating to the Kubernetes integration. So a number of installers there for our CNCF certified installer, but also the virtual appliances for the K3S, as you know, the lightweight distribution for the edge. And we'll have our colleagues from SUSE tomorrow explaining in more detail what K3S is and the advantages and benefits of using it. And then we've been also, well, as I mentioned, updating regularly the rest of applications and services we provide to the marketplace, including the services for network virtualization functions and all that. And finally, before I leave the floor to my colleague Michael, just a reminder of the main activities we carry on organizing and coordinating from the community side. So that's, as I mentioned, webinars and tech days, and you can expect them to keep coming in the next years. The annual conference, which as we announced, will be virtual. We think it's a good experience. We'll see at the end of this edition, but we think it's a nice change having this conference in a virtual format to make it more accessible, to more inclusive to the rest of to everyone in the community worldwide. We'll be organizing and participating in technology events, and you can expect to see us around with a number of booths and presentations and talks in a number of relevant events worldwide. Also, our champion program. So big thanks to our community champions, and an announcement that we'll be updating the program in the near future as well. So keep tuned, because there will be some news coming about our new community program in the near future. And then our partner ecosystem, which my colleague Michael is going to explain to you in more detail in a second now, in half a second, let's say. So thank you all, and see you around. The floor is yours, Michael.
Well, thanks a lot, Alberto. Now I'm going to take you all through a quick run through of the landscape that we have in place with our OpenNebula partners, and try to highlight how important it is for the growth and progression of OpenNebula as an enterprise cloud and edge solution software. We have a long-established partner program that's been in place to foster collaboration, strategic alliance building, and mutual commercial success. Our focus at OpenNebula Systems is, and has been for a long time, to develop an industry-leading cloud management software solution. So in addition to the open source distribution, which we develop and manage, we also provide a set of commercial offerings that focus on providing organizations with the best enterprise experience. Yet for OpenNebula to meet the demands of companies across the globe with hugely diverse sets of requirements and technological architectures and strategies, we recognize that it's critical to have partnering companies working together with us to broaden our overall reach. Our partner program includes a set of partnership types. And while we have had stable and continued success in building profitable partnerships, going forward, we're going to be making an even more concerted effort in solidifying and expanding our partner ecosystem for the future. Okay, so now there are essentially two types of OpenNebula partners. The first main partner classification is the business partner. And these are partnerships with which we are continually seeking for innovative and new go-to-market strategies with partners that are interested in either offering services or integrations related to OpenNebula, or those providing packaged marketed solutions like those of independent software vendors that address the needs of specific segments within the marketplace, whether those are specific platform users, specific infrastructure needs, particular vertical industries, or those that address certain geographic locations within the world. Now, these business partnerships align more closely with the OpenNebula enterprise offerings, and primarily the promotion of our OpenNebula subscriptions with the enterprise edition of the software. The first type of business partner is the service and integration partner. And these are companies that are interested in targeting a cloud industry vertical or are focused on providing technology services directly related to OpenNebula enterprise deployments. We also include pure reseller partners in this type of partner classification. So through these partnerships, we provide mutual support to each other, both in ensuring that end customers are provided with and running top-tier dynamic deployments with enterprise support. Then there are the solution provider partners, which are organizations that have gone to market with a packaged solution that has OpenNebula as a key component. These solution partners are particularly important in being able to scale the technology out and reaching a more extended audience, right? Whether they have a key presence in certain vertical markets or simply able to adapt OpenNebula to specific use cases, these solution provider partners are delivering complete solutions based on OpenNebula, benefiting from the enterprise edition of the software, and are backed by SLA-based enterprise support. In both of these cases, in addition to the technology and market synergies, right, these business partners are awarded with corresponding commissions for OpenNebula subscription business that they generate. So one of the more recent developments in our partner ecosystem is the expansion of our solution provider partner program to include an offering for managed service providers. And this is a program that supports MSPs that are managing and supporting unique private clouds for their individual customers. And under this program, the end customer receives a managed cloud provided by these partners, which is running on the enterprise edition of OpenNebula and includes the same SLA-based support provided by our support and engineering teams. And logically, these MSPs are provided material discounts for running with the enterprise subscriptions that are extended through to the end customers. Our second type of partnership is the technology partnership, which are alliances that are more fundamentally based on associations between technologies. Now, while there are opportunities for more commercial and business-related synergies here, like those of the business partnerships, these are more broadly dependent on technological integrations. For example, our recent focus on building out a true hybrid and multi-cloud capability with OpenNebula, That's brought about a new partnership model with cloud and edge providers. We've built partnerships with resource providers like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Equinix Metal, Vultr, and DigitalOcean by expanding the catalog of available resource providers, while at the same time opening the market for these providers to the user base of OpenNebula. We also have platform partners like Linbit and Storepool, our sponsors for this event. And those platform partners provide complementary solutions. In their case, they're providing integrated storage solutions. And these types of partnerships help users and customers to see really the bigger picture and establish a clearer view of a comprehensive solution for organizations. And lastly, our hardware partners benefit from OpenNebula certification, which helps bring users and customers closer to a simple, more complete solution, right? So knowing that when you make a hardware purchase, that it's primed and certified for the necessary accompanying cloud software. Now, as I pointed out, our enterprise subscription is at the base of our partner ecosystem and the strategies that we seek to promote with our partner programs. Our enterprise subscription provides the fundamental components for a successful and enterprise-ready solution. Firstly, it offers access to our Enterprise Edition, which is a more tested and hardened version of the software. It provides access to regular maintenance releases, access to LTS versions as well, which provide more flexibility in your upgrade strategies. And it also includes access to SLA-based support by our professionals. Subscribers also have access to several enterprise resources, as well as to professional services, which we offer. And those services include cloud deployments, upgrades, training services, as well as consulting and engineering services. So once again, I'm going to take the opportunity as well to thank everyone who's participating in the event this week. I want to give our thanks to all of our speakers, and in particular to our event sponsors, Linbit and Storepool. And I want to extend my thanks to all of you. Hopefully you'll be able to enjoy the exciting agenda that we've got lined up for you over the next couple of days here.